boom, it's time. So, quick summary. One day, Andrew and I was going for a cruise in my Corvette. Pow, we lost the clutch. And I'm like, son of a... Slave cylinder went out. All right, jump forward, we fix it. A week later, pow, clutch goes out. I'm like, you mother... All right, so I'm sitting there like, well, we got to dig into the car. I swore that it was going to stay stockish with a BTR 3 and drive well. And then my friends over at BTR were like, hey, we developed a new camshaft that makes a little bit more power. Pretty sure you're going to be interested in it. And I was like, don't talk me into that, devil woman. I'm driving this nice, street-friendly, smallish Stage 3 cam. The Stage 3 BTR cam made 587 on 93 and 608 on E85. And it has 237 degrees of intake duration, 250 of exhaust duration, like 646 lift and 639 or something similar like that. But it really drove really well. But you know how it goes, man. You'll be out there in them streets and someone pulls up to you chopping a little bit harder and you're like, son of a... I can't run a performance shop and have other people on these streets chopping harder than I do. I use the word chop a lot because Andrew gets warm and fuzzy on the inside because he's 22 and that's what they do. So he's over there like, yeah, we're gonna chop, Dad. So anyways, Nick hooked me up with the custom gold member dangler edition Bad Mama Jamma. And it's substantially larger, which in turn, we got it a little while ago and we've been dinking off and haven't put it in the car. But it's their new Stage 4 V2 basically. This one's in an 8620 core, so it looks amazing. And I'm a little extra, as everyone probably can gather. So I had to have the solid billet core so that people knew when they pull up to me that my core has a little bit more material on the inside. Really, I just wanted it gold. So we're gonna drop it in the vet, and the new clutch should be here hopefully within a week. The Monster said, yeah, it's build to order. It should be out any day, next week or the week after, or maybe the week after. And usually everyone says they're pretty good, so maybe they'll be good for us. But this is what's happening. We're gonna do the cam first. As soon as the clutch comes, we're gonna dyno it, and that'll give us a good clear indication of what the cam makes over the old cam. And then we're gonna rip the heads off from it, send the heads out, have iron mask airflow, massage the living crap out of them, and then do his SR mod, the short runner to the MSD. And then we'll re-dyno it once we get the heads back from him. And we got pretty good expectations. And I mean, I know what it should do, but it should make some jam. Because as we've shown in the previous videos, I bought those Frankenstein heads for it, and those Frankenstein heads are a work of art, truly. But it takes quite a bit of modifications to get them on the car. And in all honesty, I really bought this car just to drive it. I shouldn't have done as much stuff to it as I have already. And I got 20 grand worth of shit laying around for it. And then it's like, man, it was fine the way it was. It made 600 to the tire and drove great. So we discussed before when everyone was picking on me for changing my mind. I do change my mind a lot, you're not wrong. But things happen. People buy stuff from me. People talk me into shit and I follow along with it. So pretty much couldn't sleep last night. I woke up at like 3 in the morning and I'm on eBay looking for some ls7 OEM connecting rods because they're titanium, they're really light. End up just bidding on a whole ls7 for some odd reason. And I'm like, well, you know what's great? I have these ls7 heads, these Frankenstein F710s with 10-degree valve angle that flow basically 400 CFM at 650 lift, and they're bad to the bone. So if all works out well, I believe what I'm gonna do is put this new cam in the vet. If I'm really, really happy with it, I'll leave it alone finally forever. If it's a little bit too big, I'll pull that cam out and leave it for the 427 that I'm gonna put in the red truck, or maybe 430 or maybe 440. But we've definitely decided, and everyone talked me into it. Since my goal with the red car is to leave it kind of stock and just drive it, and you know, just like I didn't plan to race it or nothing like that. So the goal was just to drive it and have a really nice, clean daily driver that I enjoy. I always wanted a z06, so I finally got it. we're just gonna build like the radical engine for the red truck for sure, and just use those heads on it, because those heads require like fly cutting and stuff for the OEM pistons if they're decked just a little bit or the cam's large enough, and I don't want to get into all that. So we decided to keep the OEM heads on it. Those ones were done by AHP. It was their stage 4, but I think his name is Brendan or Brandon, I can't remember, but the guy that owns Iron Mask Airflow said he routinely picks up a substantial amount of power over those, which I can believe it. They're not a crazy big head or anything like that. So we decided when we get to the point and we run this with the cam and the new clutch, which hopefully is a week or two, we'll be able to see how much that cam makes over the old one, and have some pretty promising gains to share with you guys. And then we'll go from there as far as that goes, and then do the cylinder heads down the road once we get them back from him. The car's parked for the winter, so we got plenty of time to just let it sit around without the heads on it. But pretty sure that's what we'll do. And then in the meantime, Caleb just whipped out that converter and threw that converter in that extended cab short box, where Circle D sent us those torque converters to test out for them. So we did the one for the 4L80 last week. Now we're about to do the one for the 4L60. And yeah, it's outside, idling away. We'll go check it out. So this truck is Eric's, our local scrap friend that always has core engines for us. It's his truck, so we're like, well, we got a free test converter, we might as well throw it in something that's suitable. Your average shit box, donut whipping 2-wheel drive extended cab with the 214 222 Cali's cam. Ooh, sun's bright, sorry. And had the factory torque converter in it, and now it's not going to have the factory torque converter. Now it's got their 11-inch, their 300 millimeter, and we're about to, he's just letting the trans warm up and double check the fluid. We're going to go whip the crap out of it, give them some RPM shift drops feedback, and then we'll throw it on the dyno just to see what it makes and loses for power, however you want to say that. Uncoupled, and then the converter locked in 3rd gear to see kind of like what percentage of loss you're looking at. So it's a pretty cool test. We did the 61, or we did the 81, and it went really well. But otherwise, got a bunch of parts for the green car. That's where I was going next. I was wondering why I walked outside. Finally making some strides on this. So I got the correct Jezel drive for it. We're gonna do a cam driven fuel pump. Never done one of these before, so it's a first for me. Hex headed, probably do a Waterman pump since they can make them pretty fast. And then I'll drive the fuel pump there. One of our friends, Lance Dragger, had a Daly's dry sump, a 7-stage. So I picked it up from him used, just in case took a little bit too long to get a new one in. They're generally 3 months or so or better or whatnot, so he explained. So then I was like, I guess I could pick this one up, save a couple bucks, and have it now. So the goal is, my buddy Todd's gonna come up Thursday, and we're gonna start really jamming on the green car. So this will be like the last clustery video of me walking around BS, and from now on we're gonna go hard on the green car. We're gonna get it out for the spring. Actually really close on all the parts we need, so it's looking good for having it done in 3 or 4 months, and it's gonna be wild because it's a lot of work, but it's what we do. So pretty excited. But anyways, Dick's working on the other videos for the torque converters, the proper one. And we got a couple other random bunch of dyno pulls and stuff, so we'll probably throw a couple other things together. I just noticed that it's been 13 days since I made another video, so I was like, son of a man, I'm really terrible at this game. So I figured I'd whip one out real quick. A little bit of an update. I'm kind of excited for the cam and the vet. Also a little nervous. Hopefully it still drives, because that thing drove really well. But hopefully it still drives really well. I know it'll make more power, definitely up top. And that was the only complaint I had, was it just felt like it tapered off 6,500 or so. If it had that 772, 74, 7,500 RPM scream like the red truck did with the compression in the cam, it would make the truck the car so much better, just gnarly sounding. But anyways, I'll quit babbling. We'll have some cool stuff to look at soon. Have a good day, guys.